PaPaSea YouTube, what's up? How's it going, everybody? Happy you guys. Today, the team builder for week number 3 of the 4th season for NPA. This week, we are taking on Redithan, coach of the Nashville Preditars. His channel link and stuff will be down below for you guys to go check out in the description, as well as a link to our week 2 battle, which we thankfully were able to win 4-0, putting us at -2 if I remember divisions, or no, I'll probably do that later in the season, actually, because I probably started doing that with APA, or at least I'm going to try and remember to. And right now we are -2, 1-1, so it would be really great to win this week's match against the current #1 team, the Nashville Preditars, coached by Redithan, of course, coming off of 2 very dominant 5-0 victories. So that's a little bit intimidating. Also, Redithan is a very solid player. Some of you guys may know him from NPL Minors. So yeah, Redithan very well respected. So if you guys are excited for this, make sure to hit that thumbs up button down below and let me know in the comment section below what you think about our recent transactions. Drop Tyrantrum for Druddigon and upgraded Hypno to Zatu. I did make a video about that. If you guys want to go check that out as well, check that out and find out the reasoning why I got these 2 new mons. But let me know in the comment section below about those transactions and our team matchup here. So looking at the team matchup, this is a pretty decent matchup in our favor. Like, I really want to try and definitely pull out a victory this week. So we're not going into week 3 1-2. Hopefully we can go in 2-1, but you never know how things can go. So a giant thing about Redithan's, or I'm just gonna call him Ethan, about Ethan's team is that it's very Mamoswine week. Like, Mamoswine pretty much destroys his entire draft. Doesn't matter what combination of 6 Pokemon, it just dies to everything or anything that Mamoswine can do. Like, his entire team just drops. And his ground resists, I really don't expect to come. That's why I'm thinking maybe something like Yachiberry Superior or Air Balloon Cobalion could be very likely this matchup. Like, Nidoking Superior and Cobalion are his 3 biggest offensive threats. Part of me feels like he's not going to bring Bucephalon, which is why it's in the bottom 5 right now. Just because Highdragon can deal with it pretty accordingly. We also have Druddigon in the back. If we want to bring it potentially. Don't expect Mega Tyranitar because I don't think it can really Dragon Dance against anything, and it really doesn't do much in my opinion. Then I'm not worried about webs if he does want to bring webs with Masquerain, and then Noivern just dies to Mamoswine. Like, if he wants to bring Scarf and Noivern to cover Slurpuff, potentially that could be something that I could see. But the thing about his 3 walls, Musharna, Klefki, and Lantern, all 3 of them fulfill specific roles and can be used for more than that one role. Like, I mainly expect Musharna out of the 3 walls, but I'm pretty sure he's going to bring at least 2 or 3 of them, and then probably bring a 4th offensive mon. So that is going to be something to watch out for. Lantern can help against Manaphy. Klefki means that Slurpuff just doesn't sweep, and Slurpuff is actually a gigantic threat to his team if we do decide to bring it. So yeah, going into the matchup, Mamoswine had a good team matchup. Offensively wise, Nidoking Superior and Cobalion are absurdly terrifying to deal with. All 3 of those are very, very scary, and I fully do expect all 3 to come. And then I'm a little bit iffy on whether or not he's going to want to bring his 3 walls of Musharna, Klefki, and Lantern. At least 2 of the 3 is what I'm expecting, and then it's just going to be a matter of what his final mon is going to be. I guess Belly Drum Zangoose could also come, but we have ways of dealing with that. So let's go ahead and take a look at the first team member here. Of course, you guys know we have to bring the Destroyer Samoa Joe. And while, yes, Life Orb or maybe Banded, Z-Move, even potentially Mamoswine can just come in and absolutely nuke his team. The thing about it is that physically defense in Musharna does guarantee live any 2 hits from Mamoswine, unless we want something with like Adam and Banded, and I don't want to go Adam and Band on the off chance that I lock myself into Earthquake and then in comes Superior or in comes Cobalion on a balloon, or if I lock myself into an Ice type move, Cobalion comes in essentially for free, forces me out, or forces me to play the mind games, and then I'm forced to sack off Mamoswine. I didn't want to risk that, so I mean, I guess I kind of do still risk it with being Choice Scarf, but the thing about Choice Scarf is that this means I outspeed everything that otherwise would have been able to outspeed my Mamoswine, which means the great thing about it is that this could potentially get a surprise KO on something like Superior, Nidoking, or Cobalion, which is really, really awesome. And while I would have loved to go Adamant as opposed to Jolly, my boy Shuckle King 87, shouts out to the front office homies for helping me out. Shuckle King pointed out that if I go Adamant as opposed to Jolly, then something like Dragon Dance Tyranitar, if he does bring it, which I don't expect, but if he does bring Dragon Dance Mega T-Tar, then my entire team is outsped. So I decided to go with Jolly enough speed to outspeed a potential Mega Dragon Dance T-Tar there. So yeah, that is why we have the speed. The rest is in attack, and then we have just a little bit of HP investment in the last 8, split into 4 defense and 4 SPDEF, just to maybe tank 1 hit or 2, like depending on what I bring this in. Mamoswine can actually comfortably live 1 Fire Blast from Blacephalon, which is really great. If he does bring Blacephalon, it could be Scarf, maybe Specs potentially, but again, I don't expect Blacephalon to come. But if he does bring it, then I will be able to guarantee live 1 hit if he's Scarfed and he doesn't have a Beast Boost, a Special Attack Beast Boost, because I think Shadow Ball is the roll, and I'm going to try and not put myself in that scenario. But the great thing about Scarf Mamoswine again is that it just outspeeds everything. I revenge kill so much of his team. Like Mamoswine, like just Choice Scarf alone really just puts in the utmost of work, and I'm really, really hoping that this catches something off guard. Knockoff, I was kind of struggling between knockoff or superpower. Superpower, of course, I think straight Okos Tyranitar and still does really good damage to Cobalion if he brings something like Shucka Berry or Air Balloon, which I fully expect at least Shucka Berry or Air Balloon. If he's Z Crystal, that could actually be a little bit easier to deal with, but it just all comes down to when we have the actual battle itself. And of course, Earthquake and Icicle Crash absolutely just destroy his team. And then Stealth Rocks, because Rocks are going to be super nice this match, especially with his forms of Hazard Pokemon not being able to do entirely too much against something like Zatoot, unless they are running some type of specific coverage move, or they are able to get up the entry hazard when I don't switch in Zatoot. So yeah, that's kind of my thought behind that. So moving on to our next team member here, we have Manaphy running a nice Z Rain Dance set. And the great thing about this set is that along with Mamoswine, Mamoswine can easily clean up late game once Manaphy has weakened his team. And the great thing that I like about Z Rain Dance is that it also gives me an absolute nuke with Hydro Vortex. Like Rain Dance alone can be used to hinder Musharna, which Musharna in this matchup is really, really annoying. I'm definitely going to have to wear that down. I fully expect Musharna to come this match. I'm not sure if he'll bring Colberberry, maybe a type of Z Crystal for knockoff, but potentially Colberberry for knockoff and to cover Hydreigon as well. But if he does bring Musharna, I'm either expecting it to be a defensive Thunder Wave set or a defensive Calm Mind set. So if it's not Calm Mind, the Manaphy should be able, in theory, beat it 1v1, which is going to be absolutely amazing. Energy Ball and Ice Beam, of course, are just really nice coverage moves to hit the Masquerain, the Noivern, the Lantern. We don't do entirely too much damage to Lantern. I kind of expect him really to bring either Assault Vest, well not Assault Vest, maybe like a SPDEF bulky Rindoberry set to guarantee Chew and Energy Ball, and then potentially get off some damage with Thunderbolt, or maybe a Thunder in the Rain if he thinks we're guaranteed to bring Rain Dance Manaphy. But Rain Dance Manaphy in this matchup is just really, really nice for the fact that it can really wear down his team. Ice Beam smacks Superior around. Luckily, Superior, my all-time favorite Pokemon, is not very great defensive-wise, so Ice Beam does a really good amount of damage to it. Surf already does about 20-25% depending on his EV spread. Then Energy Ball, again, is just really for the Lantern. Besides that, between Surf and Ice Beam, everything takes really good damage, and at +1 late game, this comes in, outspeeds everything, and pretty much just wins if we're not able to win with Mamoswine. And just because of how big of a threat Mamoswine is offensively, it can already break from Manaphy alone. So essentially, Manaphy and Mamoswine break for each other in this match, and if I am able to get up Stealth Rocks, those are going to be really great as well. So next off, we have Mojado, aka Rotommo, our first of 2 Assault Vest Pokemon in this battle. Now, Assault Vest Rotommo is very interesting. I know it may not look like the best matchup in the set, and the EVs are all over the place. The HP and SPDEF EVs were to guarantee live at least 2 Ice Beams from Life Orb Nidoking, if I'm not mistaken, or an Ice Beam into a Sucker Punch, because I've seen him run Sucker Punch Nidoking before. Superior does absolutely nothing to us. Like, Superior cannot break through Rotom, and if he's not running any bulk or if he doesn't have synthesis, then Signal Beam is a straight 2-hit KO, especially after Stealth Rocks. I think it's a 2-hit KO depending on rolls if he's got leftovers and no bulk, but after Stealth Rocks it's a 2-hit KO regardless, so we can spam Signal Beam against it and eventually beat it 1v1 before it beats us. Volt Switch, of course, is super nice for being able to gain momentum, and if he doesn't, well, I mean, even if he brings Lantern, we have Leaf Storm, but if he doesn't bring Lantern, then we can still smack around Nidoking with the Leaf Storm, and then once Nidoking and Lantern are gone, I just click Volt Switch for free, essentially, and that's going to be absolutely phenomenal. And the great thing about Rotom is that, as I mentioned, it smacks Lantern and it smacks Nidoking around, which is absolutely amazing. Now, this speed EVs are a little bit different. Normally I try to creep everything to 151 speed, which I'm pretty sure guaranteed outspeeding Nidoking. I hope they didn't speed tie. Yeah, so Nidoking reached 150 at level 50, and I tried to creep everything to 151, but in case he does bring Nidoking with only enough speed to outspeed Jolly Mamoswine, then I'm outspeeding that speed creep. So that's still going to be very, very nice. And then if he's something like Scarfed, that's going to be a little bit easier to play around, because if he doesn't bring Life Orb Nidoking, then that means it's not going to be hitting as hard if he were to bring something like Scarfed. I really don't think that he's going to leave Nidoking. Like, I really feel Nidoking has a really good matchup this match, just because I don't essentially have too many good switch-ins to it. So yeah, fully expect Nidoking, but this can deal with Superior. This allows us to Volt Switch on Cobalion. If we're at full HP, we guarantee live any hit. Musharna does take some respectable damage from Signal Beam. We Volt Switch out against the Klefki, Leaf Storm, the Lantern, and just basically Volt Switch out against everything else. And Leaf Storm also does really good damage to the Tyranitar. And then HP Ice is just for the Noivern, because if he does for some reason bring Noivern, then I want to have some type of super effective move to hit it with. At least being 4 times super effective, it'll be doing a good amount of damage. Next off, we have No making her debut for the Durham Druddigons in the MPA, rocking a nice Assault Vest set. Yeah, I know Assault Vest Zatoot seems a little bit weird, but I'm actually really hopeful for this set. So this was my ingenious idea here. So the thought behind this set is that, first off, Zatoot already has a really good matchup in this game, I feel like. And the only way he can really hit through Zatoot is by hitting us on the special side with a Nidoking. But then on the physical side, even if we were physically defensive, he would need to have Stone Edge on Cobalion in order to really do any damage to Zatoot. So if he brings something like Double Dance Cobalion, or maybe like a bulky Pivot Cobalion, then he may not have Stone Edge. At least that's my thought behind it. But for the most part, I will try to scout out to see what Cobalion has, or if I maybe have a rough idea of what it has, I may try and risk it. But for the most part, Zatoot can really just pivot into so much of his team. Like, outside of Tyranitar and the Blacephalon, Zatoot is an amazing pivot mon in this matchup. Plus, by having another Assault Vest Pokemon, this gives me an aggressive switch into Nidoking. If I know Nidoking is potentially a Stealth Rocker, then he may not expect me to hard switch this in, and then that way I can potentially bounce back Stealth Rocks or maybe Toxic Spikes if he brings those as well. But we have a Garbodor, which Garbodor isn't entirely too bad in this matchup, so I don't expect him to bring T-Spikes, but more than likely Stealth Rocks on Nidoking is what I'm going to be expecting, honestly. So if he does have rocks on Nidoking and he thinks, oh, I'm not going to risk Zatoot, and he may try to go for an Ice Beam, I'll easily chew the Ice Beam, outspeed next turn if he doesn't have Sucker Punch, knock him out potentially, or get off a huge hit with Psychic. Or he may think, I'm not going to risk Zatoot, and then he's going to go for rocks, and that way I can bounce them back, and then we go from there, which is really nice. Hidden Power Ice again, mainly just for the Noivern. I contemplated Nightshade over Hidden Power Ice, I guess, but I don't know, like, a part of me really wish that I would go Nightshade, but I feel like it's more safe for me to keep HP Ice as opposed to go for Nightshade, because HP Ice can still just absolutely nuke the Noivern. I also hit the Superior and Masquerain for neutral damage, or super effective damage between the both of them, along with the Noivern if it really comes down to it, as well as the Nidoking. And then, yeah, Heat Wave is able to hit his Steel types, his Grass types, and his Bug types. And the Psychic is kind of spammable against this team if he doesn't bring Tyranitar. And if he does bring Tyranitar, I can kind of play around that by U-turning out, because we are naturally faster than Mega Tyranitar. So that's going to be really nice as well. But I'm hoping that this set and Mamoswine just put in a lot of work, man. Because in my opinion, like, Assault Vest Zatoot does sound pretty weird, but in theory, makes a lot of sense, I think. I don't know, let me know what you guys think about it. So moving on to the next team member here, we have the Shield, aka Highdragon. And much like Mamoswine, Highdragon does have a really good matchup in this game, but it suffers from the same thing that Mamoswine suffers from, is its speed is just a little too low. So I decided to go with more of a bulky spread this time around. And originally I had Habanberry because a Leaf Storm into a Dragon Pulse naturally would have knocked this out, or 2-hit KO'd us. But with Habanberry, we could have avoided that scenario against Superior, then Fire Blasted it for a huge amount of damage. And a Leaf Storm into an HP Ice doesn't knock us out unless he has Life Orb, but I don't expect Life Orb Superior. I think maybe something like Subseed or maybe Z-Move Superior makes a lot of sense. Even like a bulky Leftover set makes sense with like Giga Drain, Leech Seed, Synthesis, Leaf Storm, and yeah, Leaf Storm, Synthesis or Giga Drain, Hidden Power Ice, and then maybe Leech Seed or something along those lines. So I don't expect Life Orb Superior to come to this match, and ultimately I decided to go with a Chilamberry, switched up my speed to guarantee outspeed a Zangoose if he does want to bring it, because up until this point Belly Drum Zangoose just kind of came in and won after it's set up if he was max HP. So by having Chilamberry, even if the Zangoose sets up a Belly Drum, he's not going to do it for free essentially. I'm always going to guarantee putting at least a max HP Zangoose to around 70%, which superpower does 70% minimum to Zangoose. And as long as I'm above, I believe, 70-ish%, then we can guarantee live a quick attack, and then in return just absolutely destroy Zangoose with superpower. But if he doesn't bring the Zangoose, then Highdragon still has a really nice matchup in the sense that it can still check Blacephalon. There's no way that Blacephalon should be able to knock us out with 2 Hidden Power Ices unless he's either ChoiceSpecs or he's Life Orb. U-Turn is really nice to gain momentum against his team. Then Dark Pulse and Fire Blast basically hit everything for neutral or super effective damage accordingly. So yeah, that's kind of the idea behind the set. Obviously, I do have to be very careful with how I choose to use Dark Pulse because he has Cobalion in the back, which I definitely believe is going to be coming. So I can't just freely Dark Pulse, and then as it comes in, it's going to get the Justify boost, and then that could also be really bad. So gonna have to be very, very careful with that. And then finally off, we have our win condition, another win condition actually, in the form of Mega Gallade. Although arguably this set could be used to kind of break his team apart, because at +2, with us being a nice bulky spread, we're able to guarantee live any one hit from something that is not a ChoiceSpecs Blacephalon, which we outspeed anyways. No, what am I thinking about? I think we can actually tank one Shadow Ball, if I'm not mistaken, if he is Scarfed. Which, if he's Scarfed, it's the only way he outspeeds us. Plus, Zen Headbutt already destroys Blacephalon after Stealth Rocks, which is super nice. Hurricane knocks us out, obviously, from the Noivern. If Nidoking is Scarfed, we can easily chew any hit, although Shadow Ball does do a really nice chunk of damage. But for the most part, Mega Gallade really has a good matchup in this game. Obviously, the main thing standing in the way of Gallade is Musharna. So if I'm able to weaken or get rid of Musharna, this comes in +2 late game, just lays waste to his entire team, which is absolutely amazing. I'm hoping that Gallade puts in a lot of work in this matchup, and even if Gallade doesn't win late game, it can still be used to break his walls down for then Mamoswine to come in, because once Musharna is gone, or a balloon has been popped on the Cobalion, or Shuckle Berry's been popped, then I just bring in Mamoswine, I click Earthquake, and if Superior is low enough, it's not safely switching into 2 Earthquakes regardless. So there's just so much that Gallade can help set up for on this team, mainly Mamoswine, but as well as Manaphy being able to be help allow setup from Gallade and Mamoswine. So yeah, Mamoswine, Manaphy, and Gallade can all help each other in this matchup essentially to potentially allow one or the other to win late game essentially. So yeah, that's kind of my thought process behind the set and going into this battle. So let me know in the comment section below, guys, what y'all think about this team. And with that being said, make sure to hit that thumbs up button down below. Comment down below what you think about our newest additions to the Durham Druddigons, and check out the battle tomorrow against Redithan. So thank you all for watching. Later, everybody.
No matter where you're at, I'm not here to make friends. It's time to attack and deplete your HP with a final smash. Don't make me turn around and pull a 6 foot. hacks. 6 foot hacks. Yeah. 6 foot hacks. Yeah. 6 foot hacks.